Morning everyone, welcome to Valentina.
Oh, hi, good morning. My name is Amanda Juliano and we're happy to see you guys.
Thank you, Amanda. My name is Akma Sarmatiara. So here my team will be your tour guide for the year. But first, we prepare small present for you.
Oh, thank you for the welcoming. It's really nice. Okay, I think I would like to introduce myself and also my team here. My name is Amanda Juliano. I'm from America. This is Gasoline. She's from India. And then this is Anissa. She's from Saudi Arabia. And then that is Mr. Abel. He's from the lovely country France. And then Mr. yeah, Mr. sorry. Mr. is from Italy, right? And then the last is Mr. Aliu. He's from Malaysia.
Wow, so many different cultures.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Miss Anissa, are you love your bell? This is pretty.
Oh my, thank you very much. I love this veil because this veil is made from siphon. Siphon is very, uh, what it is, like popular because it's light, thin, and versatile, especially for hot weather like this, yeah.
I see you prepare very well, yeah?
Yeah, of course. I really look forward for my holiday here.
Here is Architect and can you tell us about this?
Well, hello, sir. Allow me to give you guys a brief explanations regarding the history of this airport. So, this airport is named after Raja Haji Fisabilillah. As you can see, the RHF is the short version. Raja Haji Fisabilillah. Well, he is a Malay leader from the 18th century who is honored as the national hero of Indonesia. And in the early years, this airport was managed directly by the Directorate General of Civil Aviation under the Ministry of Transportation. And then later, in the year 2000, the operations were transferred to Angkasa Pura II.
So the name was different.
Yes, it is used to be called as KM Airport, and the name was officially changed in 2008 during a ceremony attended by the Ministry of Transportation and regional officials. And a new and much larger passenger terminal was also opened in 2013, and its capacity is 1 million passenger a year, which is 10 times bigger than the old building.
The airport here have really an interesting story. I really enjoy your explanation. Thank you so much, Miss. Sorry, I didn't catch your name. May I know your name?
Hello, my name is Tata Rahmi. You can call me Tata. Yeah, Miss Tata.
Thank you very much, Miss Tata, for your explanation. And my name is Faril. Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to
Nice to
meet
know
you all.
I like the atmosphere. Not too big, but well organized.
Yes, it was designed to provide a comfortable experience for our visitors.
It's open shop.
Yeah, it is.
It's a lot of shell like souvenirs. May I know what kind of animals that are?
Certainly, sir, the seashell like animal is called mongo. Actually, in Laguna, the animal mongo is the icon of the city. And for the local community, it's a very popular seafood. People usually enjoy grilled and served with spicy sambal.
Why Hong Kong is the icon of the city?
Uh, well, not only that, but like special, it has become more than just food. Gongo represents the natural richness of our sea and has become symbol of local identity. And you will find its chef used in manufacturing, scarf, and even accident.
I see, I see. So the gonggong here is very popular, yeah. It even have a building inspired by its shape. Wow, the culture is very breathtaking. I can't wait to explore more uh, in Tanjung Pinang for our tour tomorrow.
Yes, the people in the city still hold on strongly to their culture traditions. The local culture is very well preserved, and you can see it in their daily activities.
Okay, so the people in my country, the people also hold on strong on their culture, like by the way, is there any famous mosque here that we can visit? Because I'm very excited to see the most beautiful mosque here. Because in my country, India, we have Taj Mahal. So I want to know how how is the mosque in Tanjung Pinang looks like.
Certainly, Miss Jesselyn, we do have an iconic mosque here, and it is the Masjid Raya. So, in fact, it is one of our the place that we will visit in our journey.
How delightful! I can't wait to visit it.
Pardon me, can we go to the hotel now? We need some rest for our tour tomorrow.
Oh yeah, certainly, sir. Please follow my partner because my partner is going to the hotel, and please follow them. Also, please allow me as well to carry all of your luggage to the taxi.
Welcome to Wisma Hotel, everyone. We have been expecting you.
Madam, please follow my colleague Gita. She will guide to your seat, and for building, I will carry out or carry by myself.
Please, sir, madam, you can follow me.
Welcome to Wisma Hotel. I'm expecting you. Please, everyone, you can follow my colleague Linda. She will assist you to your seat.
Please, sir, madam, you may have a seat.
Okay.
Thank you very much, madam. Please wait. Excuse me, everyone. While waiting, please enjoy our welcome cake and drink. The drink is called adobo. It is one of Capri's traditional drink, and the cake is in Poland grandam, with also the traditional cake basket.
Wow, thank you.
How delightful! Can you explain more about the drink? I'm really interested knowing more about the drink.
Certainly, it's made by a boiling mixture of herbs, roots, and meat. The recipe has been passed down through the generation, and it is a part of traditional Hawaiian.
Does it have any benefit?
Yes, locals believe adobo helps maintain stamina, improve blood circulations, and keeps the body warm. It was served warm and is quite popular among the local community.
That sounds interesting. It will definitely help me stay fit during for our tour. Thank you for explanation.
What about the cake? Does it have any interesting story behind it?
Well, drum cake is a traditional cake from Riau Island. It has been part of the local Malay culinary tradition for many generations.
What kind of cake is it?
It is simple baked cake made from basic ingredients such as flour, sugar, eggs, and butter. The texture is usually light and slightly dry, which make it perfect to enjoy with tea or
Also, is there any special meaning behind it?
yes. In the past, drum cake was often served during family gatherings and special occasions. But it lasts quite long. It was also practical for travel. Today, it represents simplicity, warmth, and togetherness in a language.
That's a very great explanation. Thank you very much for your assistance and explanation.
My pleasure, madam. Alright, everyone. My colleague Eric will assist you with the check-in process, and I will explain.
Thank you.
Excuse me everyone, this is your passport. You're most welcome. So everyone, my name is Eric and I'll be your host during your stay here and I will assist you with the check-in process. So for this check-in process, we just want to double check the information that we have received. Okay, Madam Amanda, can you check here? Is the WhatsApp number correct?
Yeah, that is correct.
Correct. And you make a reservation for 3 rooms, right? And the type of the room is the twin bed.
Yeah.
And your room number will be 6566 and also 67.
Yeah, that's correct.
And here you will be staying with us for 4 days and also 3 nights, correct?
Yes, correct.
Alright. On your checkout date, may I know what time is your flight, Madam Amanda?
Oh, wait, let me make sure first, okay? Ariel, what time our flight?
In the online reservations, our departure time is 2 p.m.
It's 2 p.m. But may I know what time my team should go?
Oh, certainly, madam. So your flight is at 2 p.m. So I suggest you to check out at 12 p.m. because the drive to the airport may take about 1 hour.
Okay.
So when you arrive at the airport, you have still 1 hour for the flight.
Okay, wonderful. Can you prepare that for us?
Certainly, madam. I will prepare the transportation for you and your team.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Excuse me, Eric. Can you explain more about the facility that are available?
Oh, certainly, madam. So here we have 3 restaurants. The first one is the Treetop, which they serve Indonesian cuisine. And then we also have Saffron, which they serve Thai cuisine. And the last one is the Folk, they serve modern European cuisine.
I see. If you want to take a reservation for tonight's dinner, can you assist us?
Oh, certainly, madam. May I know what time do you prefer?
I think that at 7 p.m. for 6 people, and at the Saffron restaurant.
Certainly, madam. I'll make a reservation for you.
Thank you very much, Eric.
You're most welcome. Okay, Madam Amanda, for the final step of the check-in process, may I collect your credit card for deposit? Thank you very much. Excuse me. Excuse me, madam. This is your credit card and your receipt.
Thank you very much, Eric.
You're most welcome. Is the room ready, Eric? Certainly, the room is ready, and all of your luggage is already sent to the room by my colleague Yogi.
Oh, wonderful. Can we enter now?
Okay, sir. The key to the room is already inside the room, and please enjoy your stay with us. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen,
Today, in this opportunity for this lovely trip in Tanjung Pinang, we will have a chance to take a look at one of the remarkable temple in Tanjung Pinang. Yeah, namely Kesiti Garba Bodhisattva, known as the Vihara or Temple Patung Seribu. Yeah.
Sure. It was built in 2014 and officially opened in 2018 by the government. And it lasts 8 years already, till now.
Yes. Nowadays, many foreign tourists come to this place because this place is known as one of the largest temple in the Southeast Asia.
So even though the people have different religions, they are still
Yeah, sure. The first people are happy to come to here and only reflect on respectfulness, but also it builds the economy for the temple.
how could be possible.
Yeah, I want to know it. Will we pay for it to get it?
Now we'll pay cheap price for it. It only costs 5,000 rupiah, which is how $1 here. It's cheap. Moreover, for future experience, I want to introduce you to the temple secret. So maybe
My name is Octavia. So I am a keeper back then around 10 years ago, responsible for guests and visitors. And then managing the temples, praying requirements, and also meet the pilgrims and the temple. And now we come to know each other. I have the knowledge of this temple for you to know more about it.
Hi everyone, my name is Kanasa. But I'm 7 years older than here. He hasn't likes to you have something to ask me.
Yeah, sure. This Oppa and Miss Kanasa for me. You may ask anything to them, yeah?
No need to call them.
Okay.
That's nice then.
Yeah, that's true. So let's take a look and then walk first up here, and you can ask the question about this place while we having a walk together. Okay?
Let's jump in.
This status looks like a strong people who doing praying. Are there any philosophical meaning behind it?
Oh, that was a good question, Miss. So actually, these statues were the Buddha followers who gained the spiritual freedoms, morality, and also perseverance through tough practices in this temple, such as long meditations, martial arts, and so on. Yeah.
Yeah, I see. Oh, yeah. Because of that, they were such a tranquil and hardworking people, and it were described with the craft of muscular and praying, praying behavior in the statue.
Oh, wow.
I noticed that every statues have a different face. Yeah.
That was a hidden fragment. So it looked perfectly because you noticed it. And yup, the statues actually crafted based on the real human in the ancient times, reflecting spiritually and purely or surely every of them were a different person.
Yeah, since this temple also built for the spiritual, as a high spiritual place for people, different statues in here could also inspire the people to also pursue meaningful and also peacefulness life for them. Yeah, that's why these statues are exist. Guys, the sculpture were amazing.
Yeah, sure thing. It was really detailed, and I bet the crafter were instantly the rope.
real, guys. Not gonna lie. It is like a perfect art inserted in a building.
Yeah, interestingly, important to note that the temple also will for reflective balance of desire, discipline, action, body, and also mind.
Yeah, those were represented in the colors of the gates. And then there are flowers like lotus, dragon, leaves, and etc.
Surely the temple is not only about the Buddhism related values, but also the arts as well, which also resonates to the public values. So it is not only reflecting or attracting the Buddhism people, but also the public people in general. Yeah.
The temples mean that it's not always a religion related, but also how to make the people of the temple more blessed with prosperity, with income that could balance the economy.
Yeah, indeed.
Sure thing. Actually, like I was wondering, like why the name is Tigata Bodhisattva. If I'm not wrong. I mean, it is a personal one.
Can you tell us more about it?
Well, the main figure worshipped here is Siti Garba Bodhisattva. He's not a historical person like from a specific era like the Buddha, but a symbolic figure in Mahayana Buddhism. Yes.
Yeah, according to what I've read in the websites from the governments, according to the Buddhist teaching itself, Siddhi Garba represents infinite compassion. And of course, Siddhi Garba made a powerful vow not to become a Buddha until all suffering beings are safe, even those in the darkest realms. Yeah.
So because of that, young men feel created with responsibility, selflessness, and also care.
I see. Listening to that explanation, I realized this place isn't only about Buddhism. It's also about ethics and how humans treat each other. And the vow of Stigarbha Bodhisattva feels less like a feels less like a religious promise and more challenge moral to everyone who comes here.
Yeah, that's highly good. I really love being here. Very calming, and for the entry, that not expensive at all. But also knowing the history and the culture a lot, it's really delightful.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe we can go.
Yeah, let's go.
Look at that.
Okay, this is the main altar of this temple. Before we explain further for you, please remember to stay quiet and respect, as this is an active place of worship. In there, we will see candles, incense, and prayers, symbolizing wisdom, life, open-minded, and moral purity.
I see the bell in here. Is it used for beginning the prayer?
Yeah, that's true. Not only that, its philosophy means to stay mindful and alert during the prayer once it's ring.
Oh, jam 2.
Yeah, now guys, let's take a look a little again and we will end our journey afterwards. Yeah.
Come on.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of our visit today. And as we come to the end of our trip, we hope that this place has given you more than just a beautiful photos, but also the knowledge as well.
Yes, the symbol is not only about statues, architecture, or history. It is about journey of discipline, compassion, and self-reflection. Each statue reminds us that every person walks a different path, yet all paths lead towards understanding.
Yeah, after this trip, I realized that this temple really reflects the complexity of the Buddhism, and which really has a great value in life. And also, I think I will be keep it in my mind, and also put it as a motivation for more peaceful of my life.
So thank you very much for everyone. See you in the next video.
Come on.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
So welcome to our fantastic cultural heritage, which we call as Sultan Sulaiman Badrul Alam Shah Museum. Well, in this special occasion, as one of the tour guide, I'm wearing a very simple traditional Malay clothes. And that's special for today. Well, you will see more traditional Malay clothes in this museum, right, Mister?
Yeah, that's true, Miss Tata. Because this museum is actually one of the Malay cultural heritage in Tanjung Pinang, Riau Islands province. And this museum is actually an elementary school back then, Miss and also Sir. Yeah, back then when the Dutch colonization era is still happened, this building, the museum, is actually an elementary school. Served until 2009, and then it was officially opened and changed as a museum that stores a lot of Malay cultural items and also stories and literature. Yeah.
That's not
Yeah, so without any further ado, let's enter the museum then.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
So guys, we'd like to introduce to you the museum keepers responsible for protecting, maintaining, and keeping the historical items in a safe and well preserved. Here are Mr. Amulabin, Ms. Karinisa, and Ms. Rina. We are welcome to introduce yourself.
Hi everyone. Firstly, thank you for your questions. My name is Almulabin. I am the officer in the Human Resources Department. It is an honor to meet you all.
Hello.
Okay, now it's my turn. I'm Rina. Hello everyone. Hello. And I am 22 years old. I work as a marketing department creative, and I've been working here for a year. And my little sister also here, who is Taranisa. Hello everyone. Hello. I'm Rina's sister, 20 years old, been working as a curator responsible maintaining and preserving the historical item in the museum accordingly.
How about Abin? How long you work in here?
I am here around 8 already. Now I am 36 years old. Perhaps I'm oldest here.
That was hilarious. So now we'll be guided by Ms. Arlami, Ms. Nina, and Ms. Taranisa, and considering the role of elementary here.
Yeah, that's true. But may we know how many groups that will be involved in our trip today?
Sure. We will have two rooms. The first is historical, and also clothes. Now, those our trip today. We start from the historical Malay room first.
Let's go into the first room yeah? Alright guys, so without any further ado, to make the time more efficient, please enter the first room. Okay. Let's go.
So this is the first room where I store a lot of the historical item Malay Kingdom era, such as Johor and Rio Lingga. So guys, and involving the gallery of the literature, Chinese war, and other items.
Truly, there are a lot of stories written. These stories are actually a Malay era back then, Malay Kingdom era.
Yeah, that's true.
Truly ancient and aesthetic.
Yeah, it's really nostalgic. Like feels like going back to the kingdom era.
Wow.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
Well, I'm very curious about this one. Can you tell me more about it?
Oh, this
Yeah,
sword, miss?
yeah.
Oh yeah, sure, miss. So actually, this sword is called Pedang Melayu. Yeah, Pedang Melayu. That's how we pronounce it in Malay, in Riau Island. So Pedang Melayu is actually a traditional Malay sword that was used by the Malay people back then in 18th and 19th century, when the Malay kingdom is still in the glory era in the Riau Islands. Yeah.
And pedang Melayu was not merely used as a weapon for physical combat. In Malay culture, it symbol authority, bravery, and moral responsibility. And only certain individuals such as warriors, royal guards, were allowed to carry it.
So before that, what weapon they use?
Well, they were using several weapons like keris and spears and etc. However, in the Malay Kingdom era, everything is crafted, which reflects the Malay culture and also values until now, the authority, the dominance, and the arts too.
I see. Seems like there are a lot of things here, yeah?
Yeah, furthermore, we can be able to see a lot of things, especially the literatures, the Malay literatures that will be available in this room. So perhaps we go on? Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. You can go for here.
Yeah, you can also see in here the literature gallery of Gurindam 12.
Yeah, Gurindam 12 is a poem written by Raja Amir Haji that correlates with Malay value and Muslim religions. It's highly prioritized kind attitude and actions.
Since 1846, Gurindam 12 remains remarkable until now, teaching us not to forget how to kind to people.
Yeah, up until now, in the modern era, the values of the Gurindam 12 is still valued by the Malay people, still conserved and also preserved through the melodious reading technique. Yeah.
And furthermore, Gurindam 12 has a different reading technique, as in called Gurindam 12. It has 12 verse and it has different reading for it.
Oh, really? How is that possible?
We actually
really want to know, can we see someone reading Gurindam 12 Putri in one of the
Sure. Here is a clip. I will show you one of the
We will play.
example.
Yeah.
Someone reading the Gurindam.
Ini Gurindam pasal yang ke-12.
That's your verse.
Yeah. That's only, but the most interesting thing is it is the reading technique only for the 12 verse, and each verse has the different reading techniques. Yeah. That's what makes it really special.
Wow. Amazing.
Oh, wow, that's very so fascinating. Not only emphasizing the moral value, but he also focused how to make it an interesting. Well, yeah. And Raja Aliazi was really influential back then.
Yeah, he was completely influential through his wisdoms, advices, and also literature works. That's what makes him really special. And one of the most popular that is still remaining right now is the Gurindam 12. Yeah.
Seriously. Like this Gurindam 12, there are also several items here and also brief history and insert minutes. You may read it carefully and start wandering around a little before we go to another room.
Okay, so because in here we have seen the Malay items and also the literature works from Malay, and then we will see the Malay traditional clothes in the next room. Yeah, those will be so fascinating. So without any further ado, let's go into the next room. Yeah.
Okay, guys, time's up. So move on to the another place. Okay.
Oh, the area really large.
Yes, as you may notice, guys, there is a spacious space in here, usually used for holding a performance event, seminar, and also workshop.
Yes, that's where the perfect to showcase the historical item to public, which will increase their awareness of how rich our culture actually is.
That's true. Recently, we have also an agreement to hold international workshop in here as well. Disseminating of business, of Malay, of historical culture.
Oh, that's great. The museum highly maximize every space available here, yeah?
Yeah, that's well known. Yeah, let's go. We may continue walking.
This one is cekak musang, usually used in a formal situation like a wedding dress. So it has 5 buttons in the neck and the color is yellow black, emphasize the prosperity, authority, and richness because the color is paired with the sun and gold.
Yeah, as you can see there is also the bright yellow as well. And this one is the greens, usually reflects for the prosperity of the real lands. Yeah.
Wow, how different our culture. You know, where in my country, everyone can wearing bikini even in public place.
Yeah, sure, because in Malay culture and Muslim values, we prevent unnecessary crimes such as raping, and then raping because due to the open clothes that is appealing and intriguing, also attracting males to the females. So that's why.
I see. Because of it, yeah?
Yes.
That's why Kurung Melayu clothes is designed to be like that
Long.
that long.
Yes. this clothes
Yeah, it covers
covers
fully the what we call as aurat. Yeah,
Yeah.
the part of the bodies that we cannot show to public. Yeah,
Yeah, that's true. And now you can surrounding and colorful and unique many clothes.
Yeah, that's
Right.
true.
And in my behind is like you can see the tradition of Malay, kepak siri, and battle of leaf.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, because we are running out of time, I think this will be the end of our trip today. Thank you very much for looking around and gaining the knowledge in this museum. Hope these cultural values may be beneficial for you. And now we're going back to the entrance. Okay, let's go. Boleh foto nggak sih? Kalau tiba-tiba ada ini
Welcome to our day trip here in Tanjung Pinang. So for today, we will visit Masjid Raya Dompak, one of the most important mosques in Riau Island.
Wow, this mosque looks so majestic, right?
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it looks really majestic because it is the provincial mosque located in Dompak, and also obviously the symbol of Islamic and also Malay identity.
Dompa Island is the center of administrative in Riau Island province, also known as Capria, located across Tanjung Pinang City. It stands as a higher elevation.
And yeah, on this elevated land, you can see the magnificence of Nur Ilahi Grand Mosque, or more popularly known as Dompak Grand Mosque.
Wow, Dompak Grand Mosque is actually called as Masjid Raya Dompak in Indonesia. Yeah. Yeah, Masjid Raya Dompak. That's
Raya,
good accent, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, because its beauty and spiritual atmosphere, it's become one of a religious tourism destination in Riau Island province.
So when was the mosque officially opened?
Well, this mosque was officially inaugurated in 2030.
And then inside, we will meet the mosque representative. We will share more about this mosque. Okay. So we will enter this mosque, but before we entering this mosque, please check your outfit. Make sure it's clean and also respectful. Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to Masjid Raya Dompak, Mr. and Mrs.
We are honored to welcome visitors from different countries.
Great. Is that great question? So, Islam in Indonesia is practiced with strong values and tolerance, harmony, and local culture.
Could you tell us about the history of this mosque?
Sure, Masjid Raya was built to represent unity of people and values Islamic.
Wow, the design is very beautiful. Those architecture have a special blend of Islam and Malay design here.
Yes, the dome represents unity and the open layout symbolizes openness and harmony among people.
Yeah. This mosque is very beautiful. I want to ask, is this mosque is open for non-Muslim visitors?
Yes, as long as visitors follow the rules and respect worship.
I really appreciate that openness in Islam. Like the hospitality and respect are the very important values here. Yeah.
Do many people gather here on Friday?
Yes, Friday prayers and holidays attract many worshippers.
That's similar to mosque in my region. But I love how this local culture blended here. Feels so unique.
Mosque feels very calm.
Right. I agree. Even though the culture is very different here, but the spiritual feeling in this mosque is very, universal.
That's a beautiful reflection, Anissa.
I'm curious, what should visitors remember while visiting this mosque? From my understanding, like showing respect and dressing properly and keep quiet. These are the very important things that do from any mosque.
Yes, that's correct. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zufri and Ms. Anissa, for your insightful explanation about this beautiful mosque.
You're welcome. We hope this visit builds understanding between cultures for you all.
So everyone, please take some time to observe and also take photos in the permitted areas.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for joining us on this mosque visit. Well, this one is one of the most important part of our day trip to continue our journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Welcome to Pantai Setumu, or we could call Setumu Beach, a beautiful and peaceful beach in Tanjung Pinang. Well, earlier today we just visited a local mosque to learn about the religious and cultural life here in Tanjung Pinang, and now we are here to enjoy nature on day 3, which is our last day of our tour. Yes.
Wow. I really like to be here. The atmosphere feels so calm, right?
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, the calm atmosphere in here, and also as you can see, the fascinating views in there.
Uh-huh.
It really makes Pantai Stumu is considered as one of the hidden gem, where it is really perfect for those who want to experience life and also nature. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to introduce Ardi, Marisa, and also Hikmah, local resident who lives near this beach.
Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to Stumu Beach. I am Ardi. I was born and raised here. Nice to meet you, Ardi. What does this beach mean to local people? For us, the beach is more than a tourist place. It is part of daily life. Many fishermen live on the sea, and we learn to respect nature from young age.
Yeah, historically, the Setumu Beach was used for a resting place by a fisherman after sailing.
Did your family work as fishermen?
Yes, my grandfather was a fisherman. He used this beach, repair to nets, and rest before he going back to sea. Ah, that's very meaningful. Is that why the community protect this beach?
Exactly. We believe we take care of nature. Nature will take care of us.
I want to know, what do local people usually do in here in the afternoon?
We gather with family, drink tea, song, and watch the sunset. It's a simple but happy life.
Is Pantai Stumu crowded on weekends?
Not really. It is still peaceful compared to other beaches.
Wow, what is it? Excuse me, would anyone like to try Teobeng, a traditional local iced tea?
Is it local? Is it special here?
It's very popular, and the teh obeng is actually a traditional and distinctive drink originated from Riau Island, specifically in Tanjung Pinang. So basically, it is a iced tea, and surely it has the unique story behind it.
What kind of story? Isn't obeng is a screwdriver in Indonesian?
That's interesting.
The name Teh Obeng comes from the old pronunciation Teh Openg, influenced by Chinese culture. Peng means as ice. Over time, local people here pronounce it as Obeng.
So it is not related to a screwdriver. Yeah.
No, not at all, miss. But many people think at the first. For us, teh obeng is a part of daily life. We usually drink it while chilling, relaxing, and or enjoying the beach.
So that's make it even more special. I really want to try it.
So when you want to order cool tea, you don't say it iced tea, but teh obeng, because that's part of culture in Tanjung Pinang and also Batam. Yes.
And along with Teh Obeng, would you like to try otak-otak? It's freshly grilled.
Otak-otak. I have heard about it. Is it a local specialty?
Can we try it?
Yeah, I want to try it.
Actually,
Thank you.
otak-otak and also teh obeng is one of the most popular and famous foods and drinks in Riau Islands, especially from Tanjung Pinang and also Batam.
Wow. So it is the Teh Obeng.
Yeah, teh obeng. That's how we pronounce it. Yeah.
Oh,
Otak-otak.
is it a fish?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fish. Big fish. How's the taste, miss?
It's really nice and kind of spicy.
Oh, kind of spicy, yeah. Yeah, because Indonesian people really like spicy foods.
Spicy.
What is it made of?
Otak-otak is made of from fish with
spices, coconut milk, and tapioca flour, and is wrapped in banana leaf and grilled. Has a very nice aroma.
Yeah, that smells amazing. But do local people here usually eat it often?
Very often, we usually eat otak-otak in the afternoon with family or friends. So especially near the beach. It is usually served with peanut sauce, spicy.
Is there any special meaning behind it?
Yeah.
We like to know.
Otak-otak reflects our coastal culture since many people here are fishermen. Fish-based food like otak-otak becomes part of our daily life and tradition.
I really love to know that the food here is connected with the historical and cultural.
That's why trying local food is an important part of our trip. So through Obeng, and then otak-otak, you can taste identity of Riau Island.
I definitely want to try both. Eating otak-otak by the beach sounds perfect.
Yeah.
Please enjoy it. We're happy to share our food and culture with you.
Oh, nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ardi.
Enjoy it.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Hello everyone.
Hi, Miss.
I sell scarf inspired by Malay culture.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
They look beautiful. Are they handmade?
Yes, handmade by local people.
Well, yeah, it's handmade scarf by the local people here in Setumo, and also they have the patterns, and it's actually have the meaning. Well, because Malay from Malay culture, it connected with the Malay culture too, with also the sea. Well, here Pantai Setumo connect also with Malay. You can see the pattern here is like a wave, sea. You can see, right?
Yeah. I think meeting local people here makes this trip more meaningful.
Yeah, that's correct. It became really meaningful because that's the purpose of tourism itself, to connect local wisdom and also the people. Yeah,
Yes, correct.
really sweet to you, actually, Miss.
Thank you.
Oh, I love the pattern.
Thank you for visiting our beach, and we hope you happy, enjoy, and respect this place.
Yes,
Thank you very much once again for joining us on day 3, which is the last day of our tour, our journey. And yes, you may now enjoy the rest of the time to relax or maybe take photos or maybe even swim there. Or maybe you just want to enjoy the atmosphere of the beach, feel free. And then after that, we will return to the hotel. Okay?
But keep it in mind that you have to keep the beach clean and also follow the safety instructions while you are about to swim. As you can see, there is a barrier right there. That's the indicator for the safe zone. Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy.
Namaste.
Good morning, Madam Amanda. Ready for checkout? Certainly. So for the checkout process, we will do it right here, yeah? May I collect your credit card?
Yes, of course.
Thank you very much. how was your stay? Everything good?
Yes, it was wonderful. You know, everything was perfect. The last detail, the place we visit are beautiful and rich with cultural, and then the local people also, and also the food here are rich in spices and herbs. Yeah, I can stay a long time.
We are very pleased to hear that, Madam Amanda.
Yeah.
On your next visit, we will make sure to make your visit become more memorable.
Yeah, I look forward.
Here's the payment detail.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
You can double check everything.
Yeah. Sure, Eric. Thank you very much for the amazing experience.
You're most welcome, Amanda. So your luggage is already inside the car. My colleague Yogi already put your luggage inside the car. Yeah, thank you very much for your visit, Amanda.
Thank you very much, Eric.
You're most welcome.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your stay, everyone. We hope you had a safe trip.
Oh, we also thank you very much for you. And yeah, we have a lot of fun in the city.
You're most welcome.
All of the luggage of this by inside the car. Thank you so much for the trip. Here's the tip of two of this.
Thank you, sir.